Welcome to the Manuchehri podcast. Over the last 30 years, it has been my joy to assist humanity in aligning with their magnificence so they may heal, discover their natural gifts, and communicate with loved ones living on the other side. May you also experience delight while we dance in the powerful, intuitive world of energy. Let's get going. Hello, everyone, and welcome to where energy meets the divine. Today, I want to talk about, especially since the holidays are coming up, I want to talk about communicating with loved ones who've crossed over. I want you to know that this is actually a normal and natural thing to do. So even though I'm a professional medium, I believe that everyone is meant to communicate to their loved ones. So I'm going to talk about some tips, some things that you could do, because perhaps your loved ones are going to be stopping by a little bit more frequently during the holiday season. And I'd love for you to be able to catch a glimpse of them or hear a word from them or feel them give you a hug or actually understand why they came to visit. Because when people who have crossed over, that means dead people, when they come to visit us people who, and really no one's really dead. I just like to make the distinction. Those of us who are eating food on earth and those who are not eating food on earth. When they come to visit, they always come to help. That's their primary reason to visit their loved ones. There's something that they know about you or your life situation, your life circumstances, and they know they could be incredibly helpful. And that's why they come. Yes, they do come for celebrations like birthdays and weddings, anniversaries. They do come for those visitations as well. But I think a lot of times why some people don't hear, see, or feel their loved ones is because they're kind of looking for this casual conversation, or that they're interested in the new couch you bought. They don't care about any of that stuff. They don't even care if after they passed, if their will was not executed the way they had written it. They don't care about those things at all. They don't care. So in saying all of that, your loved ones come to help you, to bring something to light. They are at a much higher vibrational frequency than we live. So they can see us, hear us, and feel us whenever they want. They can read our minds. They don't have a block to our connection. And because they are living in a place where they have a lot more awareness and consciousness, they notice things that they could have done differently or that you could do differently, and they want to help. They want your life to be happier and more fulfilling. So I think people could have richer, more deeper connections with their loved ones if they have that in mind. So when I'm doing a mediumship reading and someone shows up, I know they're coming to help. Now, a lot of clients that I work with don't know that. They think, for some weird reason, a lot of people, after they lose a loved one, they want to make sure their loved one's okay, which of course, that makes sense in one logical aspect. But the reality is they don't have a body. They don't need money. They don't need food. They don't need housing. They don't need to procreate. They can see creation, universe, angels, archangels, their spirit guides, that guided them during this most recent lifetime. It's almost like they've become Jungian psychologists, which I've talked about before on this podcast, that as a soul is leaving their human reality, their energy rises very fast, almost like a rocket. And as it rises very, very quickly out of their physical form, they remember their past lives. They can see everyone who's close to them in the physical realm. And I don't mean at the time of their death, but people that they have relationship with. They can see all of their past lives too, and their future lifetimes. And they have such an awareness, as if they've become this multi-dimensional therapist, very healthy, very conscious and aware. So when they come, because they don't have to come visit us, they can hear us, see us, and feel us whenever they want to. They typically don't miss us either, like we miss them, because we can't hear and see and feel them whenever we would want to. And I don't mean that we never could. I'm just saying it's not fully fledged in the human reality for us to have complete and consistent awareness of those who have passed. Mediums, when we talk with family members, their departed loved ones know that we're going to have a conversation with them even years before we do. So this has already been, they can see it in the ethers, like, oh, my Aunt Joan is going to go talk to that medium Marie on February 28th, 2025. Ooh, I want to be part of that conversation, as if a telegraph goes out into the universe and says, so-and-so is going to be with this medium, so that if they want to participate in a conversation, that the whole matchup will occur. So let's say someone's never heard of me before, but their family member is going to, is aware that we're going to actually have a meeting before this person has ever learned that they're going to have a session with me. They may not know who I am, but their spirit guides are going to help them to find out about me or whoever lives closest to them or whoever they can get a session with, and book the session. And then the family member is going to be present for that experience because they have something really important they want to tell that particular loved one. If we could all look at the visitation from our loved ones is more for our benefit, and it really is, in terms of humans finding out that their loved one's okay, even though, of course, they're okay. They're in heaven. There is no hell on the other side. I've never seen it. I've never witnessed it. We live, I think, in a time-space reality that is the closest to hell, quite frankly, Earth. And I love Earth. I think it's gorgeous and I think it's beautiful. I think it's very interesting. So there isn't any, creation doesn't punish anyone. Everyone learns by consciousness and awareness and through love and compassion, believe it or not. The shenanigans that happen on Earth, the wackiness that doesn't make sense to us, the cruelty that doesn't make sense to us, those are typically perpetuated by younger souls. They're trying to learn compassion and they don't have compassion. It's kind of missing from their consciousness. They don't have empathy, and empathy comes from living hundreds of thousands of lifetimes. So they're younger souls. They haven't lived that many lifetimes. And so they come to Earth to have experiences that help them to become compassionate. So your loved one's coming to visit you, let's say, even if there's not a medium involved, they still come to visit. They may come to you in a dream. That's very common for people who are scared to have a visit while they are awake, but yet they have the capacity to do so. They have enough present moment experience that they could entertain a loved one from the other side. So people will have very vivid dreams, or they think they're a dream, but it's truly a visitation. So if you've ever had a dream of a loved one who's crossed and you feel like you're sitting down to dinner or you're having this conversation, it feels very real. When you wake up, you go, gosh, that seems so real, because it was. They were visiting you in your sleep state because you will allow the experience to occur while you're asleep because you're uncomfortable to allow it to happen when you're awake. One of the first things you can do to make it a lot more plausible that a visitation could occur while you're awake is to actually tell the universe, look up at the ceiling or the sky and tell the universe, I know I'm kind of scared, but I really want this connection to occur. I really want to have a mediumship communication with my loved one or whoever you want to have the communication with. Speak out loud. When humans get scared, their neurological system kind of sends out alarms and the universe goes, oh, well, they're scared. We don't want to frighten them any further, so we're going to pull back. But if you speak out loud that even if you are scared / excited, that you still want the experience, the universe will go, oh, they have consciously communicated to us out loud. And we're going to help with this experience now because now we know for sure what they want. The other side, meaning even people who've crossed over, communicate through mental telepathic conversation, images, feelings, words, auditory sensations, pass through each other's, head. People who've crossed over, they don't have a brain anymore, but their mouths don't move. There's communication from this knowingness that occurs between them and into our human brain. And that knowingness, that mental telepathic connection, is difficult to have when the human overthinks and analyzes and processes is in their logical mind all the time. There's like no wiggle room. And in fact, the universe can't tell what we really want unless we speak out loud, if our mind is full of all kinds of unnecessary, which most of it is, in my opinion, information that we're sifting through that is a complete waste of our time. So that's why I ask you to speak out loud. So let's say For the holidays, you are hoping that you get to experience a loved one that's crossed, somebody that you miss. In fact, if you don't have anyone that you really miss that's in your family, you can simply ask the universe, please send someone that I will be delighted to experience. Of course, it will be somebody that you knew, but it may not have been someone who was on your radar. I was once teaching a class, and it was a mediumship class, and I was taking people into a meditation so that someone could come visit them who had crossed over. And when I speak the meditation, I do it too. I do it along with them because I think that energetically helps my students to be in the vibration of the meditation. And so I'm asking the same kind of question. Please let someone who's ever in our highest good to come visit us and provide a message. And I don't have a lot of close relatives on the other side. Most everybody who I adore and cherish is here. And so I was kind of like, well, maybe nobody's going to come for me is what I kind of thought. And somebody came. I didn't even know the person had passed away. I'd actually worked for her when I lived in Klamath Falls, Oregon, where my children's father went to engineering school. And I worked in this small family's daycare center. So I helped take care of kids. Even my firstborn went to work with me for her first year of life at this daycare that I worked in. And the woman who ran it, unbeknownst to me, had passed away. She came to visit me, and she was just telling me how proud she was of me and my career. And she said other very kind things that I didn't know that she thought about. She was a very busy person, wore a lot of hats in her family-run business. So it was a surprise. That's part of the element of intuition, even communicating with a loved one who's crossed over. It's like, surprise. And so that's how you'll know that you're having a true connection, because there's going to be some sort of surprise in the experience, whether it's the person, like in my case, who I didn't expect, or it's what they tell you, or how they show up, or the fact that they tell you that you're having fun, that they're having fun. Because most humans don't think that people who've left their body are having fun, which is ridiculous. They are having fun. So you want to have a conversation with someone, maybe you know who it is, but regardless, if you're opening up the door to be surprised, or you are requesting a particular person to have a union with you, a meeting, an embracement of arms, you will need to get happy. And a lot of times when people want to talk to their loved ones, they're sad, they're grieving, they could be depressed about the experience. Maybe they're even scared about it. Maybe something terrible happened that they thought would never happen. You have to get your energy elevated. So you have to get happy. The way to do that is don't think about the person who's crossed, because if you aren't neutral yet about it, which is completely understandable, you're not going to be able to have your energy in an elevated position to communicate. All the people who've crossed over are in very high vibrational energy, extremely high vibrational energy. So you have to get happy authentically. So think of things that actually bring you joy. Spend like part of the day being happy. Go for walks, go for a swim, and go out to lunch with someone. Spend like days, if you want to, practicing the aspect of joy, of authentically feeling joyful, which does mean you will need to find out what makes you happy as an individual and participate in those experiences. And then after you've done that for half a day, a couple days, whatever you think you need, then you're going to call that person and you're going to say, please express to me whatever is in my highest good about communicating with a loved one. And you might say that person's name, or you might just say a loved one or someone who's departed. And then I want you to forget about the question. I would love for you to rest your energy, which means think about your belly button, rest your energy in the lower half of your body, wiggle your toes, feel your glute muscles. You want to connect to the lowest part of your physical form, from the hips on down, away from your brain, and next to the emotional response system. And then get happy again. Go smell flowers, go walk around, walk your dog, do whatever you need to do, or just sit there and quietly meditate while you're staring at the outdoors, next to a warm fire if you need to. You want to detach and get into the present moment after you've asked your question. And then at some point, close your eyes and see what happens. Yes, and your family members are know that I'm having this conversation with all of you who are listening to this podcast, and they're going to help you so you can have an incredible, wonderful, amazing experience from your loved one. And your loved one knows what you need, whether it's a hug, a kiss on the cheek, a gentle reminder, a pep talk. They know, which is very exciting. Okay, now I'm going to go on to our voicemail messages that people leave for me, and I'm going to start answering intuitive questions. Okay, thank you.
Hi, my name is LaToya from Texas. My question is I just want to make sure that my ex is okay. I found out that he passed away back in February, and for a long time he had just been tugging on me, and I was trying to ignore him. And then finally I reached out to his sister and realized that he had passed away. It took me 3 months to realize it, but he had been on my mind very heavy since then. And after I realized that he passed, I just felt this wholeness, this completeness. And he would visit me, like I could feel him watching me, or like he would rub my back. Like he rubbed my back the day before I found out he passed away. And then the night that I found out that he passed away, he rubbed my back again. And recently I just don't feel him anymore. I try to talk to him and communicate with him, and I'm not getting any signs. And I know that he says that I need to work on my self-love and my self-growth, but I'm like, God, like, you can't just disappear. So I guess I don't really know what my question is. I just need guidance, I guess, on what I should be working on.
Hi, LaToya. You're clearly a gifted medium. You did a great job experiencing your ex, and he wanted to say goodbye and that he loved you. He always loved you, by the way. I don't think he's completely sure why you guys aren't together or why you broke up. Even if he initiated, he doesn't really understand the circumstances. I don't think he did initiate it, but he's just not sure why it happened. He always loved you, always missed you. And so he wanted to say goodbye before he left. And I love that he stuck around and tugged on you and rubbed your back and your shoulders. I think that's really, really, really beautiful. But he has gone on to another dimension to play because you two aren't together anymore. You are not his partner. And so he's like, oh, I got other people I need to take care of, other people in the family that if I want to visit, I want to go visit them. It's like he finished his, I connected with LaToya. She saw me, because not everybody can run their energy high enough. I mean, they can, but they don't practice. They don't know how to, so that they can experience departed loved ones. And you could, and he knew you could. He loved like playing with you, rubbing your shoulders and you knowing that it was him, him tugging on you and you knowing that it was him. He loved that, loved it. So he's just gone off to go play in the ethers somewhere, which he should, by the way. Go have his own experiences, learn something, and he will come back and visit you at some other point when it's necessary. And necessary for the other side means, as I've said before on this podcast, this particular episode, that they come to help you, to teach you. He's already obviously given you an instruction to fall in love with yourself. So I'd work on that so that he goes, oh, mission accomplished. She did it. I'm going to come back and give her another homework assignment. But good job. Congratulations. I'm sorry your friend passed, by the way, but great job.
I have a question regarding magic mushroom. So my mom has late stage Alzheimer's, but my dad's taking care of her and she's surprisingly really healthy looking and
that's great,
in good spirits. So I was wondering if this would help or it would have no effect, or would it help my dad? I see it more as medicine. My dad likes things that are backed by
science,
quote unquote research. I've used psilocybin myself and I feel like it's helped me in a multitude of ways. So do you have any insight on if it would be a benefit to my parents? Please let me know. If you have time for a second question, I know you get inundated with so many questions, but if you have time, how's my energy look, or any Anything you see? Okay. All right. Thank you so much for all that you do.
Thank you, Angel. I'm sorry about your mom's Alzheimer's. I'm not recommending mushrooms for your mom just because people with Alzheimer's are not always fully in their body. A lot of their energy is on the other side. And as their disease process continues, their energy is displaced towards the other side. And, this is hallucinogenic. And I think it would be confusing for her and difficult for her. I'm not recommending it. But there is a ton of research now on these types of plant-based medicines for mental health. So I would look that up and find some research and give it to your father. Maybe you guys could do a trip together. Your father might like it, might help him let go. So there is research already out in the world about plant medicines and mental health, even addictions, all kinds of interesting new ways that have been utilized for, I think, about 10 years now. But the research maybe, goes back about the more recent research, maybe in the last 5 years. But yeah, it is happening, and it has been very positive for a lot of people, which is exciting. Very exciting. And I hope your mother continues to look well and enjoy her time here on Earth. I truly do. And that all of you get to. Thank you so much. Great question.
Hi, Marie. This is Priscilla from Delaware. I'm new in this awakening, wonderful adventure. Pretty much started after listening to your podcast with Alex.
Oh, nice.
And I know I lost my sisters. They both died, one of them over 20 years ago and one of them over a year ago. And I do know or believe that they hear me talking to them and they're with me.
Yes.
But I'm wondering if they have anything to say to me. Is there anything they would like me to know? I would love to hear from you. And I love you, Marie. Bye-bye. Thank you.
I love you too, Priscilla, and everyone on this podcast. I just love humanity. I'm madly in love with the human race. Your sisters are funny. They do hang out together, even though one has been gone for a very long period of time or longer than the most recent crossing. They're silly together. They're playful. They try to play with you. And that really is their message. They say that you're kind of boring and you don't play. Although I love in the background that I could hear nature wherever you are in Delaware. It's gorgeous. It's really beautiful. So get out and play. Be silly. Go skinny dipping. Maybe not right now, but in the spring or the summer. Go do crazy fun stuff. That's what they want. They're jumping up and down and clapping as I'm giving you these playful instructions. And they love you very, very much. Very much. They truly do. They say that you were always the big sister, whether you are or not. That's how they see you, which is very sweet. A great compliment. All right. Thank you so much.
Hi, Marie. This is Candice calling from Rochester. I've been taking one of your courses and listening to as much of you as I can on the internet. And it's been really helpful, allowing me, I think, to push forward and see things in a new perspective. And I'm really drawn to the multisensory world and have been for some time. And I'm hoping to expand that some more. So I was wondering if you could do a read on my energy or chakras, and if there's anything that would be helpful for me to know or anything for me to work on, I would really appreciate it. I've been looking to expand professionally into some new horizons, and it's been, I would say, a slow journey. So anything that you could add would be really helpful and appreciated. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, Candice. Your energy system looks fine to me. I'd like it to be a tad bit more vibrant, but I said a tad, which is a small amount. So it looks really good to me. What I heard, though, as you were speaking, you do need to start speaking out loud as if what you want has already happened. Like, thank you for my amazing multisensory career. I'm so thrilled. Because we need to get your energy convinced. You have to own this consciously in order for it to manifest into the third dimensional space. So you need to start working in that realm where you speak and feel as if you already have what you desire. And you don't have to completely understand it. You don't have to have it planned out. In fact, it's better if you don't. But you do need to move into like it feels real to you, like it makes sense. Like, of course, this is part of me. That's what you need to do, in my opinion. And think you will have great success if you do. Okay, thank you.
Hello, Marie. My name is Maria, and I am calling from Austria. First of all, I want to say thank you for your beautiful work and that you're sharing all of your knowledge and all the insights with us. It's truly a pleasure to listen to your podcast, and I'm listening to each one of it. Thank you so much. My question is, I wanted to know if you have any idea on why I keep gaining weight and why I'm not able to lose any weight, because I don't really understand why that is. I'm following a very healthy diet. I eat a lot of fruits and veggies. I hardly eat any wheat, so I don't eat bread. I don't eat cake. I don't eat pizza. I eat pasta maybe once a week, and for the rest, I eat a lot of veggies, fruits, lean meat, rice, and potatoes. So, I follow a very healthy diet, I think. Plus, I do sports at least 3 times a week. I do strength training. I go for walks. I do climbing, and I go running. So I feel like it doesn't make any sense that I just don't lose any weight. I can gain muscle mass very easily, but I can't lose any body fat. I don't really understand why that is. I'm only 5'3", and I gained about 40 pounds over the last 5 years, which is quite a lot. I went from size small to large, sometimes extra large, and I don't feel very comfortable anymore in my body, which is quite sad because my body is very beautiful and I'd like to feel comfortable again. So I don't actually feel like it's because of an unhealthy lifestyle. So I would like to know if you have any insight on that, and if there's any emotional stuff maybe going on or anything energetically that keeps me from dropping some pounds. Thank you very much.
Oh, you're welcome, Rosemary. I would have your hormones checked right away, because a hormone imbalance leads to weight gain. I mean, if you look at humans, men and women, as they reach 50s, and I don't know how old you are, but 40s, 50s, 60s, they start to gain weight. Unless they work really, really, really hard at it. I mean, all kinds of unique and wonderful things, but it's hormone related. In fact, to me, aging is hormones. We don't see people getting arthritis or problems with their bodies or metabolism issues. Even a lot of diabetes, like type 2 diabetes, starts as the hormones change. So I would get your hormones changed, and I wouldn't eat carbohydrates. I would try that, like no pasta, no potatoes. Try that for about 3 to 4 weeks and see if you notice a difference. There is going to be an emotional component to weight gain, and that is kind of not wanting to be seen for a while, kind of just wanting to pad oneself, feeling uncomfortable about vulnerability, wanting to maybe kind of disappear a little bit. That is part of the emotional component to weight gain. It is a third chakra aspect, and the third chakra is all about self-love. So that's what I think, and I wish you the best of luck. I truly do. Thank you.
Hi, Marie. This is Rosemary from Ontario, Canada. I feel like my next career is aligned with my soul purpose somehow. Do you see a potential endeavor that would enhance my life on a soul level? I feel like I've had past lives as a healer, mystic, visionary, and maybe even a witch. I'm wondering if I have any talents, gifts, or abilities that I'm going to develop in this life. Thank you, Marie.
So you're kind of asking the wrong question, Rosemary, which you're not really asking the wrong question, but your gifts and talents are wherever your joy is. It sounds like you like mysticism a lot, but I don't feel you really vibrating in your joy. I'm not saying it's not joyful for you. I just don't feel you spending time in joy or trying to figure that out. Practicing the frequency and the vibration of joy. That's critical in terms of self-development. None of us would care or do care what it is that brings us great passion, because it's so fulfilling. We would never care what the topic is. Even when I had, stepped off the elevator and at the hospital and knew I needed to leave my nursing profession, I had no idea what I was going to do. And my prayer was, to be shown what my passion is. Because that's what you're looking for, is your passion. So in order to discover passion, you have to practice passion, and all different kinds of things could passionately light us on fire. One of the cool things about Seattle, which I don't spend a lot of time with now, downtown, it's just a little weird now in Seattle, but the public market has, in the spring and summer, because the public market's really long. It's just outdoors market. Some of you have seen commercials about it. It has they throw fish and people catch them when they buy it. You can buy all kinds of food or flowers, and it's very, very long. It's probably 2 city blocks, and it's an outdoor market, but it's got a cover on it, but it's a temporary structure. It's not super permanent. And I love flowers so much. I used to drive to Seattle just so I could walk through and passionately feel every little gorgeous flower, the 2 blocks, and back and forth until I picked the bouquets that I was going to take from home. Now, not everybody has passion for flowers like I do, and that's fine. That's okay. But you have to discover what yours is. That means you have to be present. You have to hang out in the world in anticipation of finding what sparks you. Because what you really want is to, as you said, discover your natural gifts and talents. But the key to these natural gifts and talents is that you will feel impassioned by them. So you have to practice the vibration of passion in order to discover them so that you will attract them to you. That's what I think about that question.
Hi, Marie. This is Nicole calling from California. I am hoping you might be able to connect with my grandmother on my mother's side to see if she has any messages for me. Thank you.
Hi, Nicole. Thank you for asking. She came in right away. So back to my example at the beginning of this podcast, where I said your loved ones know when you're going to talk to a medium and they get ready for the experience. They're all prepared. And one of the things I forgot to mention, and I teach this when I teach Mediumship Coaching, it's like a 12-week program that I teach, and that outside of every human being is a reader board, like a sandwich board. And on the reader board, it says next to each human being how the human being will read energy. Are they highly visual? Are they highly auditory? Do they feel things? So like on my reader board, because my guide showed me this years ago when I realized I was also a medium, which was a surprise to me. And I said, well, how am I going to translate or communicate? I don't know how to do this. And they said, well, there's a reader board on there. And I go, well, what does it say? And they told me one thing that it says on there. Well, 2, I'm highly visual. So departed people show me what they looked like close to the time of their death. I also can see their style of clothing. I always see the hair first. I don't know why. I have a lot of hair. Is that it? I don't know. But there's also something else on there that says, do not take time telling Marie your name. She doesn't care about names. She doesn't remember people's human names. Don't waste your time. That's on my reader board. So they don't bother. They show me if they wore jewelry, what it looked like, and their personality. I can feel their personality. So I describe when I talk to clients what someone looked like and how they behaved, and they can pick up right away. I mean, as a medium, you can feel if someone's related or not. You can feel if it's a mother or a father or a sister or a friend. You have these emotions that come up inside of you that reflect to your own relationships in your life that you go, oh, that's a mom, because you have this certain feeling in your body about your own mother, and it's activated in your body when you're reading for someone. At least that's how it works for me, and I think many other psychics. So your grandmother, I believe that's who you were talking about, she says you are way too in your head. She says, first of all, you have a beautiful head and you're very beautiful, and she blows you kisses, and she's direct. She's not quiet. I wouldn't call this a soft grandmother. And she says, you've got to stop thinking, analyzing, and processing. She goes, the human race is upping its game. It's starting to raise its frequency and its vibration. And I know that you want to jump on the bus. So get with it. She even claps. Get with it. So that's what I'm hearing from your grandmother. All right. Thank you so much.
Hello, my name is Manon from Ontario, Canada. I am a seeker of knowledge in all spiritual topics. I am 56 years old and I feel lost with no gifts coming in or direction to take for a better life. Do you have a message for me from my guides, angels, or whoever is around me for guidance? Thank you for your time.
Hi, Manon. I hope I'm saying your name correctly. How much time do you spend in meditation? And meditation doesn't have to look like the traditional form where you close your eyes and it's not my most favorite form of meditation. I like to become very present in the moment, because that's really what meditation is all about, is to get our mind to quiet so that we can be present. So you could even do like yin yoga positions. You could do some qigong if you need to have movement, which I kind of think you do, in order to get into a meditative state. That's what is required of you. You need to learn to rest your mind, because you have a very busy mind and kind of a busy body. Even if your body's not moving, it might be twitching or shuffling your feet or things of that nature. You haven't allowed yourself to reach what is often called the still point, which is a beautiful place of quiet, but it's internal quiet that just expands. Like right now in the Northwest, I'm actually in my brother's office for this podcast because the power's out in many parts of the Northwest where I live, including my home, and it won't be on for days. So we're being told, because a lot of people lost their power at the same time. And when I'm in the house, I'm just loving the quiet, as if everything is expanding. The quiet is so beautiful. It's almost as if it's loud, but in this very inviting and welcoming way. And I know if you haven't experienced this before, you don't know what I'm talking about necessarily, but that's what you need to describe, or what you need to experience. You have studied, you have looked at, but you haven't, from my perspective, really participated in, because in order to really feel that grab of consciousness, which is really a high vibrational experience, again, something about passion, something passionate for you, you have to learn to still the mind. The still point looks like this from my perspective. It's a powerful vibration and energy in the world, and people reach it or move into it when they allow their mind to be quiet and their energy to expand. So if we were all at the beach right now, and maybe a lake beach, not an ocean beach, and it was extremely calm, the lake, very, very calm. And as the sun's coming up, as the sun is starting to rise, and this calmness, as if our breath has been taken away as we're standing at the beach at this calm shoreline, the sun sends a beam of light that goes horizontally across the front of the beach for you in the water. And you're just in this moment, a still point of awe of this very simple, gorgeous, earthly act that happens all the time. That's what the universe wants you to start experiencing. And you're not going to learn it from a book. You need to actually start practicing by quieting your mind and become present, so you can find the still point. And the still point is like moving into the nothingness, and everything is in the nothingness. Everything is in the nothingness. I want to thank everyone for listening to this podcast today. And I wish you beauty and happiness and fulfillment no matter where you are. All my love. Bye-bye for now.